kindly commented on this, we were first interrupted, gaslighted, and told in a rather rude way that all the rooms looked the same. The entire situation wouldn't have bothered us too much if it weren't for all the literal nest ants in the bathroom. And we were confused when they said that they couldn't change rooms since they harshly claimed that they were fully booked, even though we saw at least one free room. Then all of a sudden they admit they had indeed had available rooms, and the people were so rude initially became rather friendly, and we're pretty shocked by their quick turn of behavior. Okay, so those are two bad reviews that have lowered our overall review score. These are the reviews that we got the previous week. Alice said, more of a guest house than a villa, needs freshened up and work done to bring up the standards. And Sil wrote, I think this was an overbooking situation. They mentioned that they could not accommodate us on the day we flew to Bali. After the note, we can't accommodate you, they went completely offline due to out of working hours. We were already flying. We booked away in advance and subsequently got referred to another place that was a lower standard for the same amount price. Not cool. Since we were traveling with a baby and specifically needed some facilities, would not recommend this as they are unreliable. Okay, so I see this as actually something that everybody can share in I guess a failure point, because there is policy, there are tools, there are attention, there are inspections that we can all do together as a company in order to avoid these type of situations. I think this goes back to our vision. If we do not inspire delight, I think it is part of the entire company's problem to deal with, and I as a CEO am first to blame for having these things occur. But this is what we need to actually get better at, and I need to have everybody in the company understand that currently this is not our strength. This is a deep weakness. All right. The goal and the vision, of course, is to be a BV5 company, to be trusted to inspire delight. And let's take a look at what the biggest problem seems to be at the moment. So last week, the biggest problem was about time and resource management. But the biggest problem this week seems to be, well, it's really messy communication. What do we mean by this messy communication? So we've seen that we currently are using WhatsApp groups to communicate with our guests. We're using WhatsApp groups to communicate with our partners. There's ManyChat, there's Airbnb, but maybe there's not enough coordination and management and policy setting for how to actually keep this communication in check and in order. Also, perhaps we are not resourcing or keeping accountable some of the people that should be actually managing each particular channel. So the communication is messy, and because of this messy communication, we have seen that this results in dissatisfaction with our guests, which brings down the overall theme of the month, which is to aim for quality reviews and quality stays. So how are we going to actually approach this problem? Well, we need to start thinking about what does a single line of communication actually look like. So what is a single line of communication? In the past, let me give everyone an analogy. In the past, if you applied for a job at Bukit Vista, you would go through maybe your friend, and your friend would then maybe go to HR, or all these different ways at which people could apply to Bukit Vista. At the time, we thought that was a good idea, but over time we realized that was terrible. Now, whenever anybody applies for a role at Bukit Vista, they go through one single direction. They apply on the jobs website on bukitvista.com/jobs, and we're able to organize every single candidate. We're able to tell candidates if they have not been accepted, and therefore applications don't get lost, and candidates and employees that develop here are served. We do not have a single line of communication yet for guests, and we do not have a single line of communication yet for partners. This is something that I think needs an innovation. It needs a strategic tool and a team management solution in order to get together. And this will be my priority focus in the next month, to create a single line of communication for anybody who is our customer, either on the guest side or the partner side, to reach a representative at Bukit Vista. Okay, so that's the biggest problem, and we're going through a transition period. Here are some of the things that we're transitioning through. Once again, just as a reminder, all new employees now will spend 3 weeks working on the guest squad so that they will understand and actually deal with guest side issues. This will, I think, result in better business intelligence. It will result in better products. It will result in better strategy. It will result in better marketing. It will result in better performance that actually think about how to actually take care of customers and the guests first. The second policy that we've already discussed before is that we are creating risk-free guest inspections. This is to reduce the amount of disappointment and the need for guests to actually inspect the property. We can use the book and look, and more often we're using Airbnb's air cover policy to cover this particular idea. Now, next thing is, what are our strengths? This is not all bad news. There are things that Bukit Vista is good at. So let's talk about some of the things that we are doing really well at. Now, We have a new tool and a new process in place called MiniChat. I've been experimenting and test using this platform myself for the past week, and I think it's brilliant. I think it's a very, very powerful and good tool that we can use to simplify and create that single line of communication into our company. It allows us to assign different people to certain chats. It allows us to inspect what's happening, allows us to manage the flow of communication into the company from Instagram, from Facebook, from WhatsApp. It's a very, very good and powerful tool. What else is good? Well, team management has improved over the past week, and this is what we've seen. By having strategic property prioritization, I think that now hours that we put into working are actually creating positive transformations for properties. They are reducing the amount of load that is being put onto the guest and operations side by preparing properties correctly to be booked and to be understood and delighting our guests. And this has actually been shown by looking at the Airbnb performance statistics as well. We've been seeing rising rates of check-ins and rising rates of accuracy. So strategic property prioritization is a good innovation. The next thing that we've seen that is very good is synchronizing the work calendars. We've realized by doing this, we can become more agile as we put leadership and operations in the same groups at the same time, so that creates faster feedback and allows us to serve our guests better and our partners better too as well. These are our strengths. And I'm happy to announce this. We have actually reached our stretch revenue target of over 180,000. We achieved that sometime last night. So as a result, there's some good news for everybody. All right, the first good news is we are going to be putting a budget together to award for peak season performance. This will be awarded on September 5th. We'll get the details out to the entire team by June 5th in the next 5 days. But here's what we're going to do today. For today, because the stretch goal was achieved, we're going to do a fun bonus. So 200,000, David and Vian will distribute 200,000 to every Vistan, and you can spend it on whatever you want. You can spend it on food, you can spend it on a little gift for yourself, you can treat your family, do it on whatever makes you happy, whatever inspires the life. And the other 75, we will actually, all Visterns and interns working here will get a 75,000 bonus too as well for their participation as well. And we'd like to arrange a party at the end of the day where everybody can come in and show us what they actually bought with the bonus money. Okay, next, let's talk about the brand. So what have we had that is good news and a strength in the brand? I'm really happy to see this. So one of our newest properties in Nusa Penida just got its first review, and it's one of the best reviews I've ever read before. I'll read this out from Cassandra, who comes from France. She traveled in May to this new Penida cottage. So she said, I travel a lot. I'm used to staying in different places all over the world, but this place, wow. It's literally the best place I've ever stayed. Everything was perfect and beyond my expectations. My only regret was that I couldn't stay longer, but I will come back very soon. In the morning, you can meditate or do yoga in front of a wonderful sunrise in your private terrace. The bed is ultra comfy and the place is very calm. The garden is full of flowers that Dad or Kadek planted and take care of every day. In the morning, I had some bananas from the garden, homemade pancakes by the mother of Kadek, and delicious fruit juice of dragon fruit, and Kadek shared some amazing tips about the island with me. He also drove me to the harbor and I rented a scooter for the day. I felt at home and really enjoyed the amazing view, very clean room, and wonderful garden and family. Thank you so much for the hospitality. I look forward to coming back. Trips like Cassandra and the great work that I think our business development, our reservations team, and our BI team, and everybody here at Bukit Vista have done that make Cassandra's trip a reality is what inspires the light and gives me the energy to work here every day too as well. So good job, everyone, for getting Cassandra in. All right, there's some strengths of our network. So unfortunately, we still haven't been able to fill the 2 required roles. We need 2 hosts and reservations and 2 property managers. But what we have been able to do is we've been reaching out to our community network, and we found 2 people, one in Bali and one in Jogja, that can come in for trials right now for interviewing for these property manager jobs. I think that's a really, really good strength of our community, that we can actually find people within that to actually get new employees. Also as well, don't forget about the great tools that we here have at Bukit Vista. Bukit Vista Bigger, which is version, I think, 1.6 now. We got BV Go, and we got Data Vista as well. Okay, and of course our amazing teams. I think the teams here do amazing work when we focus and we align to the core vision and mission of the company. Lastly, what can you do now? What can everyone do in order to make a better Bukit Vista? So let's take a look at what each person or each team can do. The thing I'm concerned about the most in the next month is about reducing brand risk and celebrating the brand. So what can we do? PR. PR, I think, can celebrate our victories. When we get great reviews, we get great feedback. Let's make more people aware of that by sharing that on our Instagram, sharing that with our partners, sharing that on our broad, visible networks. I think we can also ask PR to deal with more upset guests when they leave bad reviews and think about how to reduce bad advocacy. Our new field managers are coming in. Lee Kutuk, I think, will be joining us today in our Bali office. We can actually have our field managers focus on property preparation by making sure the properties are ready for check-in, such that we reduce the risk of having unsuccessful check-ins and guest complaints. We can also do more quality control before guests actually check in. I think our BI team can work on reducing the review risk by focusing on the brand-sensitive properties where there's high amounts of check-in and high amounts of risk from having unsatisfactory experience. They can also look at high booking values and reduce the risk for those particular guests on high booking values to have unsuccessful trips, and also thinking about the legacy relationships that we have with our partners and focusing on those too as well. Okay, those are some things you can do. Protect the brand. That is the main theme of the month ahead. Let's try to get it so that we can raise our review rates, protect the brand, and also celebrate and tell the world that Bukit Vista can inspire delight. All right, so once again, the theme, the goal, the mission is to grow the market share through work that inspires partners in your team. And you'll know you're doing it right if you build that world-class brand by thinking about this. Our guests feel inspired and delighted, our partners feel inspired and delighted, and we feel inspired and delighted. Okay, that's my presentation. Let me turn it back over to Addison for the rest of the all hands.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jingo, for the vision statement. We're going next to Bayu, I guess, for the mission statement. Over to you, Kak.
Okay, thank you, Addison. And someone sharing the screen? Okay, I'd like to talk about this actually. So we have been developing the optimal way for partner onboarding and hosting system to solve our operational issue. So most of the complaints that we see, the one that Jing just presented, is basically related to operational issues at the property and like communication at the property as well. So we try to develop this to allow us to allocate the team's focus on delivering this amazing hospitality service every day and making innovation based on that daily operation, basically. So we call it now guest experience version 5 because this is BV version 5, and this is different than any other daily operation that we have ever done before. So what's different? First is that we can now offload the adoption of hospitality on the field to on-site staff. So on-site staff will follow our standard to deliver the hospitality delivery, basically. The second one is the guests will get consistent services no matter which BV property they stay in. And the next one is that we now, as the people that managing reservation and partners and guests, we can have expectation of what will happen at the property. Right now, it's not clear, right? The property is a black box. Sometimes they have a good staff, sometimes no staff, but with this system, we will have that. And the fourth thing is there will be cleaner and simple daily operational communication. It's basically as shown on the diagram right there. There's a communication flow, basically. It's very simple. It's designed to be independent between the property, the owners, and the management people, where the communication will be untangled. I think it's more direct, especially for daily operation. So the next one, what we need to do next is that we need to implement this to all of our properties and inspect the implementation of this system regularly. So the link is right there. If you want to read what is different, this is definitely something that sometimes we have done it, but it's not on the all property, right? We have a good practices, but we don't document anywhere. So this is the documentation, and we want to implement it to all of the properties. This guideline has been implemented in our Bali full board properties, And so far, it's running very good from the onboarding process until the daily operational process. So this is one way for us to inspire delight through hospitality innovation that positively transform our guests, employees, and partners with the system. So back to Audition.
Okay, thank you, Kak Bayu. Thank you, Mr. Jing and Kak Bayu, for reading our weekly mission and vision statement. I hope that BV version 5 will be implemented effectively very soon. Okay, the next one we will have weekly mission inspiration. From this section, I would like to invite Sharon to moderate it, our alliance. Over to you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Kak Audison. Let's start with the first one. Bukit Vista mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovations that positively transform our partners. I would like to invite Kak Tendi to present your findings.
I think you can start from guest first in the above. I think you passed that, Sharon. Yeah.
Oh, there's the guest one. Okay. Kak Tiar.
Good morning, everyone. So from the guest squad, this week we decided. Actually, this is Kak Chandra's project. She deciding to eliminating reservation issue by removing room arrangement setting on Putra Bali Villa because we received quite a lot issue on this particular reservation system. So Kak Chandra is taking initiative to remove the room arrangement so there will be no more reservation trouble caused from this. Thank you, Kak Chandra.
Okay, thank you, Kak Tiar, for your sharing. Next, we can move on to innovations that positively transform our partners. Now, over to Kak Tendi.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Yeah, for last week, CM team has rolled out partner award to some partner, and then the story is we got two partner that leaving the testimonial of the broadly that they get the award. I attached the link of the video on the table as well, and then there is a photo with the Asri Village owner last week, and then this week we'll roll out more partner award. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kak Tendi. Next, also from the same one, we have Kak Audison to share. Over to you.
Okay, so last week, community team had trained some partners using guideline. So there's few partners. So and other partners also attached on the link that drops. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, next one, our mission to positively transform our employees. Over to Kashelin.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. So good morning, everyone. So this is actually came from the PR team in this case for the PR monthly plan as well as the documentation. So previously, Vera and Bila came up with this documentation that basically contains and tracks the whole team's progression for awareness work. So previously it was hard to keep track of everyone's activities as the individual reports are pretty much here and there and not actually combined into one. So with this compilation, we can actually keep track and ensure that the strategy is aligned across all of the team members working on different campaigns. That's all from me. Back to you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you very much, Kashelin. Now I think we can move on to our company theme, target, and mission achievements.
Wait. This is the attachment that Mr. Jing have asked. So
Okay.
this is actually partner reward, I believe. And this one is for the training.
Enggak kelihatan Audison.
The screen is freezing.
I opened my own screen. Don't forget. Sorry. Okay. Is it? Okay. This one. Wait. Okay. This one. Okay. So we actually have other photos, I believe. So, but this only the attached for these weeks. So this is from And this one is from the Beefy God training, everyone. Okay, I believe that's all. Back to you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Kak Addison. We can move on to the company theme, target and achievements now. I would like to invite Kak Ara to present.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So, maybe first heads up to everyone. I'm not going to change the monthly theme for this month, so it's going to be still quality first. First, we'll be proceeding to focus on the quality delivered in each layer of the company, meaning to say guest partners and our employee. And then second, quality first should be applied in constructing the best partnership, providing the best quality trips per guest, and bringing the best potentials employees. So yeah, that's a little bit reminder. And then on the sections that I did multiple inspections for this week. The first one is review automations. I'm sorry, I attached the picture actually below, so you guys can actually open that for the screen controller. Picture that I attached di bawahnya, yang kecil itu. Nggak kelihatan. Di bawah. Enggak, terlalu jauh. Di bawah, satu box di bawahnya langsung. Nah, oke. Tapi itu bukan yang itu, sayang. Atas lagi, review automation. Nah, itu kan di bawah. Nah, ya, oke, thank you. So our automated review to guests is actually off. This has been discovered a few weeks sebenarnya. This result to low review received on the Airbnb account that we have. So multiple actionables is there, and I pointed out to the technology team to actually look up onto this. And yeah, please Nadia later on interact on this one, yeah. So this is pretty bad because previously Mr. Jing only brought up that the overall quality of the review, 5-star ratings, right? But this also become very key to actually convert the reviews that we have. Okay, the second one is actually communication context. I wouldn't say this is bad, it's just not optimal. This has been brought up also by Mr. Jing earlier about the communication context. So two things. First, we increase the ability to solve problems, yes, by the SPP, morning briefing in guests, and so on. But mostly each individual's lack of context. So lack of understanding on one another capacity, understanding, and etc. And this another example of cases on the field is that we have. This also relates to the issue communication tools we provide for owners. Transitions of WhatsApp and ManyChat hasn't been done smoothly for partners. So this I pointed out mostly three issues, right? First, like the tools issue. Second, the strategy, and the third is the adoptions. But I would like to prioritize the tools to be fixed first, and that's why concerning teams here that I point is the technology team. Maybe Mas Bayu later on can discuss with Mr. Jing along with the strategy wise. Okay, and then the next one is hosting experience. I would also consider this still bad. So this week, multiple broken flow on hosting side is detected. It is not lack of resource issues, but it is adoption and those issues mostly. There might be need like policy needs to be done. Couple of the actionables that I pointed out here, maybe over to Tandy, that improve flow response rate of hosts that currently is going on. So team management issue to assign team correctly and accurately. If you need my help, of course, we need to discuss this further. And the second actionable is that analyze the failed back check-in guests. As we right now have the self check-in, right? But it needs to be refined because multiple failed check-in and has been detected, especially after working hours. Okay. The last part is the property management quality. So Mr. Jing also brought up the screenshot of overall 5-star ratings of declining review itself. In here, if you open the picture, tadi coba, would you please the screen controller open? Yes. So the fact is that declining quality on the overall rating is mostly on the cleanliness. Jadi kalau misalkan everyone nanti cek, yang paling grafnya declining itu cleanliness. So this is over to partnership transformations, specifically to Tani juga as a funnel manager. We need to run down the list of the property suffered from these issues. And then quality control system needs to be rolled out for the improvements and maintenance of the current issues. Okay, so that's multiple inspections today. For the target, so I'd like to congratulate everyone. Let's take a moment to celebrate that we actually achieve our awesome target. So just not like the target, the stretch target we even achieved. So I would like to say thank you for everyone. For your hard work, yeah. So yeah, stay positive on the upcoming months. me myself can give insights that it would only be better in the upcoming month. So the June starting revenue target that I attached here is gonna be 165,000 USD, and then we'll have the awesome target and or stretch target to be discussed later on. But not just the, I like to also take a note that it's not just the revenue that we need to achieve this month, but also the quality improvement, which is in here, review rate. So, okay, target is gonna be like, sorry, it's supposed to be higher, not 4.5, it's my mistake, I'll update it later. But let's aim directly to the awesome target. Right now we have like 5-star rating for 4 point something, right? But now let's start aim for 4.8. And the 5-star review, it should be 75% that all the review that we have should be 5-star review. And then awesome targetnya, of course, we're gonna aim for 90%. Okay, so what is the current opportunity that we have? So potential revenue from RTB inquiry and Istanbul, we have 68,000. Potential revenue from inquiry for this week is 41,000. So in general, I'd like to just go directly to the summary that we have achieved the weekly target for inquiry potential and conversion as well as instant book. So that's also like I'd like to congratulate everyone who working on that, already been working on this. Another part, the country list, citizenship list of the foreigners to get VOA privilege has been increasing. By now we have 72 country lists that actually granted for VOA. So this is also an opportunity that we can aim to have more guests coming in. Okay, so achievement as stated, we already achieved, and by yesterday that I checked, we already achieved 180,000. And we'll scroll down. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, the update from my side. Yeah, back to the host then.
Okay, thank you so much, Kara. I would like to ask also if Katendi wants to add to anything, or we can go.
Oh, can go ahead.
Okay, let's move on to the promotion and new employees section. I would like to invite Kashialin to present this. Over to you.
Sorry, Sharon, I think this should be me.
Oh, Kara again. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, ini name-nya nggak bisa attach di sini, so I'm not pretty sure. On my side itu seharusnya Chandra, so I just promote Chandra to become case manager, and currently she is actually the senior specialist. So congratulations, Chandra, for creating the systems and also fixing the reservation team to become better in operational. So yeah, that's from my side. That's the next one. We can go over to Shelin, yeah, for Isabella.
Oh yeah, thank you. So okay, Mapa as announced since like yesterday. So Isabella just joined actually as a trainee, Mapa in the hosting team, and she is ready to inspire our guests and be a good host in this. Thank you. And yes, once again, welcome to Isabella. And sekalian aja, once again, happy anniv juga to Bella. It's your first ever work anniversary in Bukit Vista, and hope to inspire delight more in the future. Thank you. Back to Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Ka, and happy anniversary to Ka Bella. And we can move on to our squad's main achievements next. I would like to invite Kagani for the guest squad achievements. Over to you, Ka.
Okay, I think it's pretty clear. We already mentioned previously, so we achieved stretch target for May. Thanks for all chapters that have been contributing this month. Woo! Woo!
Okay, thank you, Kagani. Next is the partnership squad. I'd like to invite Ka Lilis.
Okay, thank you very much. So I also would like to congratulate everyone for achieving the target and for delivering something. We actually found out that the revenue contribution of the export property is highest in terms of membership or value for this month. So that's good. Information. And then second one, we try to observe transformation in terms of transactional quality, where we can transform 2 properties from medium to high, and also 5 properties from low to medium in a week. So this is just a starting of observation. That's the picture attached. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ka Lilis. Next. for the employee squad, we want to invite Kashelin.
Yes, it's actually as announced earlier that we have an additional team member in the hosting team, Isabel. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ka. Next, we can move on, I think, to the core value recognitions. Oh. Okay. First one, I want to invite Kashelin again to present.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Sharon. So this is actually, I'd like to appreciate Alia in this case to step on those as well to help others to help themselves. So she was working on the onboarding requirement with Vera previously, and she came up with an idea to incorporate the ETS, apa namanya, the employee transformation system, the programs that we have for our employees into the onboarding materials in this case. This is actually a very brilliant idea where we can actually have the team understand and aware from the start when they first join the company on what the transformation team in the employee squad are working hard on. So yeah, that's from my side. Back to you, Sharon.
Okay, congratulations, Alia, for the recognition. I think we can move on to Kak Gani next.
Okay, I'd like to nominate William for his willingness to help me doing ITAL tasks. This is not easy and a little bit boring task, but William shows the high motivation to self-learn and solve problems. Even he able to discover solutions without my guidance too much. So kudos to William for being collaborative in the team.
Okay, congratulations, William, for the recognition. Lastly, I want to invite Kak Odison to present.
Okay, I would like to congratulate Sharon for step on toes because she willingly to be moderated today. After a few days, we've been looking for a person or everybody rejecting our invitation. So thank you, Sharon. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Kak Odison, and congrats to myself. Next, we can move on to employee experience report. I would like to invite Kashelin maybe to present.
Okay, for the ES report, it will be delivered normally on the second week of all hands. But for the employee of the week, maybe to Ara, if there's any update, Noya for this weekend.
Okay, it seems there's no updates from this. Okay, we can move on to personal updates then maybe. Okay, La. So the question of the week is, if you were given the opportunity to live in a country other than where you are now, which country would you prefer and break the reason? Please read only the answer to your question of the weeks. Okay, first from Mr. Jing.
I would move back to Indonesia. Yeah.
Okay. Next, Kagani.
To Copenhagen.
Nice. Next, Kak Jesslyn, which I think she's not here. She wants to move to Finland or Norway where education is free. And then next to Kak Reza.
I love Indonesia as well with the wealth of natural destination. Maybe when I've been around all of them, I can think of living in another country.
Oh, nice. Okay. Next is me, most likely somewhere in Europe, UK, Austria, or maybe even France. Next is Kanadin. She wants to live in New York, Amsterdam, or Hungary. And then next is Mokwayana. Was she here? Okay. She wants to go to Indonesia for nature and culture. And then next is Kak Grace. Oh, she's here.
Am I not visible, guys? Okay, thank you for waiting for me.
Okay. Next is Kak Gray.
Yes, probably the Netherlands because they are one of the most sustainable country. Back to you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you. Next is Kak Vera.
I can't choose one, so either Canada, USA, Korea, or China.
Okay, nice. Next one is Kak Yoga. New Zealand, I think it's more peaceful rather than here in Indonesia. There are fewer people also. Okay, next is I cannot read that. Next is, who's that? Erica. She wants to go to US or Canada. And then next is Kak Han. Okay, I'll just read it. Of course, Turkey, because they have super great food, and in Turkey, everything is affordable for Indonesian people. Okay. Next is Kak Ara.
Yes, I'm interested to move to the US. Swap with Mr. Jing, yeah. So Jing here, I go there. So this is most of because of we call it line of opportunity, and on this age specifically. But if I'm like older later, of course, I want to be back in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you, Kara. Next is Kak Tendi.
Okay, I choose Swiss because it has a low crime rate and violent crime is rare, and it's also one of the cleanest country globally with excellent public transport network and world-class health system. The Swiss also enjoy the high standard of living, reporting being level that are well above the global average. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Tendi. Next is Kak Shelin.
Oh, okay. From my side, I'd like to try living in Canada. Seems like a nice place to live in, with all like the nature sceneries and as well as the city skylines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Next is Kak Tiar.
Okay, I really want to go in US because there's a lot of opportunity finding talents and career there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Next is Kak Isabella.
I want to live in Norway or Canada because I want to see aurora. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Kak Vian. Shambhala. What is Shambhala? Because it's a country where you can find spiritual peace, since material possession means nothing. Also because the country doesn't exist. Oh, it doesn't exist. Oh, okay. Oh, place of peace. Okay lah. Next is Kak Alia. Country to live, maybe somewhere around Europe, but I will need to at least look through their culture or way of life first before deciding to live there. Would need to make sure a lot of things too, such as cultural differences, occasions, etc. For now, I would like to discover more about Indonesia since I have not been traveling a lot. Okay, nationalism. Next is Kak Audison.
So, for me, where's my? I would like to live in Scandinavian or Nordic area because statistically they have the biggest percentage of country with happiness, which is Denmark, Finland, or Norway. Because I consider myself as Gen Z, so I believe by living there, it will affect my mentally be better. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Kak Audison. Next is Kak Giselia.
I'd go to Iceland for sure. There's 3 months where there's no night and another 3 months where there won't be any day.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Next is Kak Bayu.
Sweden, an European country. So the reason is easy to travel across country by car or by train.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Next is Kak Abam.
Okay, from me, maybe Japan, because why not?
Okay, next is Kak Vito. Iceland, it's a beautiful country to visit. Kak Robin, England, Manchester. I want to watch Man United game at Old Trafford every week. And then next is Kak Nico, England, because I feel peace. And next is Kak Lilis.
Thank you, Sharon. So perhaps I change it this now. United States, perhaps pursuing my PhD. Why not?
Okay, next is.
By the way, Sharon, can we click on that link that Lilis has shared? I think that's actually a pretty interesting update. Yeah. So Lilis, can you tell us a little bit more about that on your achievement?
Sorry, I can't really open my camera, everyone. So for this one, actually Jessica and also the team find out yesterday that previously the problem is there's high cancellation value and also pace basically. So we try to find out a solution. And then we try to change the cancellation policy from flexible to at least moderate, and mostly also change into firm, which is more like strict. 30 days cancellation can be full refund can be implement. Full refund can be issued 30 days before check-in. So from that strategic policy that we have implemented, we see that no change in booking receipt, which is with booking page, which is good. However, there's a decrease if you can move to the other previous image. Decrease in terms of value of cancellation and also pace of the cancellation. Anyone who is controlling the screen, you can move to the previous picture.
Okay, everybody, I think this is actually a really good achievement, because what it does is now we don't have to like focus so much on reservations that cancel and then waste our time and do all that. So basically we're able to simply change the cancellation, achieve our revenue, and not spend so much time wasted on bookings that never actually completed. I think this is good. Okay, thank you. Sorry to break the pace, but I think this is something worthy mention. Back to Sharon.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jing, for pointing that out, and thank you for Kalilis for sharing. Next, we want to move on to call Phoebe. Oh, is he here?
For me, it's bad because it's organized and I like the food.
Okay, thank you, Cole. Next is Ka David.
For me, to England and feel the atmosphere of best football league in the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Ka Bella.
Thank you, Sharon. So perhaps because it's an option, I would not take this opportunity because I love to live in Indonesia and I want to build the opportunity, not to have the opportunity. Thank you, back to Sharon.
Wow. Okay, thank you, Ka. Next is Ka Jessica. She wants to go to USA. I've always wanted to stay in the US for a brief period of my life to experience life in the land of opportunities, and the good food is a plus. Okay, next is Ka Cinta.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. I think I'll keep choosing Indonesia despite a lot of deficiency and netizens that easily get triggered. We have a lot of delicious food, cool culture, and adat ketimuran which teach us to maintain good manner. People here are also friendly for women that use hijab like me. It's safe being here without discrimination. There are a lot of spaces for us to contribute for this country too. We also can learn from bad things to have a good liberation, to not easily trigger and avoid corruption. Because for some people, way to grow is to learn inside mass condition. That keep us outside our comfort zone. And last but not least, we have a lot of ghost types. Somehow it's unique and doesn't make us feel bored, right? Okay, that's all from me. Give back to you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you very much, Ka Cinta, for the very detailed explanation and advocacy for Indonesia. Next is, I think that's all. Okay, next we can move on to announcements. Ka Audison. Okay, seems there's no announcement, but I would like to remind everyone to, for the team task this month, to fill in the May 2022 EES. It will only take 15 minutes, so don't forget to fill that form in. Thank you. Anything else from anyone else?
Yeah, Sharon, may I? Okay.
Okay.
Let me just double down on the EES. So this month we've made some changes in the way that we're working in the team management. So we've changed the work schedules, we've created the SPP, and we want your honest feedback for how that is actually feeling. I understand from some people that this feels like it's actually a little bit more work than before, but hopefully what we're doing is actually we're spending more time doing work that actually saves time in the future. So even though it's a little bit more work in the beginning, I think it actually reduces work in the future instead of having to deal with these firefighting situations. Another thing, let me bring Ara back actually for this one. Ara, I need to collect bank accounts for everybody who wants to receive a bonus. Would you recommend we just Slack everybody put their bank accounts up on Slack on the announcements, and then as they come in, David can pay everybody for the revenue target bonus?
No need. We just need the name. We already have the data for that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. If we have the data, then let's just go ahead and use that. But I think David and Vian were actually asking if the interns had their bank accounts and such. So, okay. Should be in bigger, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, no worries then. Let's go with that.
So your pen account is loaded up. Yeah, so the things
Okay.
that only for the interns, that's it.
Okay, all right. David, Vian, let's go ahead and get everyone paid today, and I'll let Shaylin and Vian come up with a plan for celebrating the revenue target achievement. Okay, back over to Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jing. I think that's all for announcements. Is there anyone else who wants to say something? Okay, if not, then I think Addison, over to you.
Okay, thank you everyone for listening to today's All Hands. Thank you for coming. You can drop any feedback on the form from the link below from the All Hands. Anything for the moderator and host. I think that will be all for today. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you,
everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a nice
day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Jangan lupa isi IIS, guys. Thank you.